For thousands of years, humans treated the long-distance race as the purest test of biological endurance. Stripped of complex equipment, it's a simple equation of lungs, legs, and willpower against distance. That test reached its absolute peak on a Sunday morning when Ugandan runner Jacob Kiplimo set the official men's world record for the half marathon. To cover those 13 miles in 57 minutes and 20 seconds, Kiplimo had to sustain an average speed of 22 kilometers per hour. Maintaining that pace requires a massive biological toll, burning through oxygen reserves, saturating muscles with lactic acid, and sweating out essential fluids just to keep the body from overheating. After millennia of racing, we believed we had found the strict upper limit. The intense pain and exhaustion required to run this fast seemed to be the permanent ceiling for any runner on two legs. Then, in April 2026, the variables changed. More than 100 humanoid robots lined up in Beijing to attempt the exact same 13-mile distance. This chart compares the human record with what happened next. The robot Lightning crossed the finish line in 50 minutes, 26 seconds. The data highlights a 7-minute gap. Averaging 25 kilometers per hour, the machine outperformed the fastest human across the entire race. Even in shorter sprints, a robot named Bolt can now hit 22 miles per hour, finishing 100 meters in just 4.5 seconds. For spectators like 10-year-old Han Chen-yu, seeing a machine outrun every person on the track sparked a sense of worry, not just about the race, but about whether robots might eventually replace humans in these roles entirely. When a machine can beat our fastest human by 7 minutes over 13 miles, it forces us to ask, what happens to the human athlete when a machine makes our biological limits look irrelevant? This wireframe contrasts a human leg with the high-torque motors of a robot. Running at 25 kilometers per hour generates immense friction, threatening to melt them. Lightning solves this with an internal liquid cooling system, constantly pumping fluid to regulate temperature. A human cools down by sweating, which slowly depletes the body of water and inevitably forces the runner to slow down. The machine, however, relies on an infinite closed thermal loop. The robotics teams didn't figure out a way to make a runner push through exhaustion. They designed a system that removes the constraint of physical fatigue entirely. During the Beijing race, about 38% of the robots ran without a human holding a remote control, but calling them fully independent is a stretch. These machines followed heavily pre-mapped courses. They were executing an algorithm, a strict set of step-by-step instructions, rather than dynamically reacting to a live shifting environment. A real human marathon is chaotic. Runners have to dodge dense crowds, spot potholes, and adjust their stride for sudden shifts in the weather. In a sterile environment, the robots excel, but introduce any unpredictable variables and they struggle. The robots in Beijing required extensive support crews, and one even crashed and had to be carried off on a stretcher. By relying on pre-planned routes and removing the element of fatigue, the race lost the very uncertainty and struggle that usually defined a sporting achievement. For a human, true endurance happens entirely in the mind. It requires actively fighting the brain's evolutionary warning signals that beg the body to stop. We call this grit. It is the distinct psychological ability to keep trying and pushing forward, even when physical breakdown, pain, and harsh conditions tell you to quit. Throughout a race, a human athlete runs constant real-time mental calculations. They feel a sudden twinge in their leg, weigh to the risk of a serious injury, and make the conscious choice to accelerate anyway. They draw psychological fuel from external forces, the shouts of a coach, the presence of family, and the roar of a crowd. A lithium battery cannot replicate that kind of power. Our biological limits give the race its value. The pain and the exhaustion are the necessary friction that allows human perseverance to exist in the first place. Moving forward, robots will definitively outpace humans on the track. That speed is a testament to how quickly robotics is improving, and the resulting technology, like those advanced cooling systems, will eventually help our phones and computers run better. But we do not tune into a race to watch the flawless execution of an algorithm. We don't line the streets to applaud a machine that never felt the urge to give up. Sports are an exercise in storytelling. We watch to see a person confront their biological constraints, face total exhaustion, and cross the finish line anyway. Running 13 miles at 25 kilometers per hour is simply an engineering problem, but true victory remains an exclusively human experience.